It says we are live, so evening anybody who's out there. Misfit Starling was out there on the YouTube side. I don't know if anybody else is out there or not. Nobody else has said anything. And obviously, there's nobody else in here right now, so just me and my knife. Got to have a knife on hand. Knives make better fidget spinners than fidget spinners ever did. You try and figure out something, I'll just sit here, pick up a knife, and just start playing with it. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a fun one or not out there. It's just me. And where's Rob? Good Lord, where's that? Where's that loser? He should have been in here by now. Got you in? He got you a knife? Oh my God! What did he get you? A kitchen knife or a pocket knife? Or a belt knife, for that matter? Yeah. Oh, a Spyderco. Ooh, he spent big money. This is one I'm playing with right now. Simply out of I don't know why. I guess same reason people play with fidget spinners. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any Spydercos. I'm not the biggest fan of the way they do their blades, where they got that little hump. I prefer a blade with straight lines like the one I just showed. I've been there. Get a new knife and playing around with it and cut yourself. Been there before. I got the scars on my fingers to prove it. Almost had to go to the ER one time when I got a new knife. Some bitch didn't want to stop bleeding. Thought I was going to go get stitches. But eventually I got to quit bleeding. Yeah. For a cut from a knife or razor blade or something like that, I don't think I've ever had stitches. The only cut that I got stitches for was when I got hit in the head by the luggage door on a bus when I was working at Greyhound. Caught the corner right above my left eye. Or the corner of the door, I should say, caught me on the right above my left eye when one of the other guys was bringing their bin door down. Didn't feel too good. First, I didn't realize I was bleeding because damn, that thing hit me right above my eye. And it was like a jolt of energy went through my body. Like, what the? And I was in shock. And they're like, "Holy shit, you're bleeding!" I was like, "What?" And I put my hand up to my face, and ooh, blood all from my hand. Like in the movies where somebody says, "Hey, you're bleeding," or "You're shot," or something. You touch it, and their hand comes away. They're covered in blood. That's exactly what my hand looked like when I got hit with that door Greyhound. You closed it on your finger. Yep. Yep. That's the way they get you. That's how I've done it. Especially with these new one hand open and close knives. If you got a liner lock or a frame lock, yeah, they'll get you. Slide your thumb across and go to close it, and whoop, it'll close right on your hand. Close right on your thumb or fingers, however you're doing it. Oh yeah, you get these new knives. You get them; they're sharp as a razor blade. They don't have to make very much contact. They'll just slice right through you before you even know what happened. It says that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I figured that's what it would be. Just experience. Like I said, I've done it many times. Surprisingly, I haven't done with this one that I just showed because this one's a button lock. Any end of summer plans? Nope. Wife has to work, so I'm not gonna be doing much of anything. Plus, we just spent a bunch of money to go to Tennessee for the gold show a couple weeks ago, so we're kind of broke right now anyway. So, but speaking of broke, the immigration system. I don't know if you guys have seen what's been going on out in Venezuela. I mean, not in, yeah, out in Venezuela. Well, Colorado right now might as well be Venezuela. Let's put it that way. Hey, Buck. Uh, yeah, you had a whole bunch, or well, a couple, few, whatever. I don't know the exact number of apartment buildings in the Aurora, Colorado area taken over by gangs from Venezuela that apparently were some of the ones that were released from Venezuelan prisons. So that's a bad situation. And there's mixed reports that biker gangs, including the Hells Angels, may be going out there to try and clean that up or not. I don't know what to believe on that one. I've seen people who are reputable say it, and I've seen people that are reputable say that it's a rumor. No, there's no confirmation, or you know, well, there's more than one apartment complex out there. But yeah, they're saying that there's reports that biker gangs are going to go out there, and again, unconfirmed reports. Like I said, I've seen multiple sources say two different things. But the rumor is, we'll call it a rumor. The rumor is that the Hells Angels and some other biker gangs are going out to Aurora to kick the Venezuelan gangs out of the apartment building since the government's not doing anything about it. Again, just rumor. Can't confirm one way or the other. Uh, Run to a Matters is out there. So evening to you. Oh yeah, someone needs to deal with them. All right. Both the politicians that let it happen and the gangs themselves. But do we really want a gang war? Biker gangs versus Venezuelan gangs? And might not end well for anybody involved, particularly the people that live in the apartment complexes that are being terrorized by these Venezuelan pieces of shit. Misfit Starling says they got the bikers protecting Trump too. Well, the fake Secret Service agents aren't up to the job. Is either somebody tried to rush Trump at a rally the other just was it yesterday, day before? It's like they didn't learn their lesson the first time. Good lord, sheer and utter incompetence. Sheer and utter incompetence. Well, not the real Secret Service. The real Secret Service are there's some pretty badass people that work for the Secret Service. The problem is, in particular, the two women that were on the Trump detail, they weren't real Secret Service agents. They were pencil pushers that were given a Secret Service badge and thrown onto the Trump rally, onto the Trump protection detail. It's like, good God! I mean, we did a whole episode a couple weeks ago about what the weekend that happened about that. Yeah, no kidding. I got a feeling that some of them may still be fake agents. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not been a good showing for the Secret Service and this election cycle. At least not on the Trump detail. And if I knew where they were, I would tell you. I don't know. This is starting to say they don't need to protect Biden or Camel Toe. They're in the basement or giving pre-recorded live interviews to CNN. How about that farce? You could literally, it wasn't edited very well either, because you could literally see where they cut the clips and posted them all together. That was bad. Hit up a nice car show today. Well, that sounds cool. Yeah, like I said, didn't do anything really. We went shopping yesterday. Went to Morgantown, hit Bass Pro, Dunham's, and Sam's Club. And the mall out there, they got a, if you're into comics or games and stuff, they have a nice comic and game shop in the mall out there. Lots of old back comics, back issues, and as well as new stuff and other things out there. So walked around and looked around that shop. Didn't buy anything there. I wanted to. They had this really cool poster that was like the old black and white Depression era pictures when they were building this skyscrapers, and you had the guys sitting on the I beam suspended over New York City. They had a picture that was a parody of that, but instead of the ironworkers, it was DC and Marvel comics characters eating lunch. I want it, but I really don't have anywhere to put it right now. So didn't get it. I thought it was funny. My son thought it was funny. Characters from two rival companies. Um, it looked like she was reading ready prepared things, like they had the answers and everything already. And then there was something where she flubbed or something. It seemed like they cut that completely out. Yeah, it wasn't a real interview. It was all staged, clearly. And then the whatever Walls, her running mate, seemed like he was there to keep her in line. It seemed like that was his job. Basically to be her handler. He was the one holding her leash, if you will. Yeah, God forbid she do a live. Well, I'm just waiting to see what kind of farce the debate's going to be with her and Trump. She's already wanting to change the rules to that, to the debate they have coming up. Was it next week after? I think it's the 9th. So that would be, let's see, a week from tomorrow. If I got my days right. Buck says it's the 10th. Okay, I knew it was somewhere around there. So it'd be a week from Tuesday. Misfit Starling thinks that Kamala's going to back out of the debate. She's already trying to back out of the agreed upon rules. She's wanting to be able to use notes and have the microphones be live on everybody. Meanwhile, the rules for debate, when the debate was scheduled, were agreed upon. You weren't going to have any notes or cheat sheets, and the mics were going to be closed when you weren't speaking. Oh, it's already starting to implode from more than what it already has been. After the interview, her poll numbers dropped. 5 Fox News, I don't know where they're getting their poll numbers from. Still have show her and their poll leading. I don't know who they're polling, but it was funny when she showed up for the interview. There's a video out there from people that were recording on their phones. When she showed up, there was a bunch of people outside CNN's Atlanta studios that were holding up Trump signs and yelling Trump at her. Trump, 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 as she's walking into the studio. So, I really don't. I'm really not buying these poll numbers. This is worse than when they kept saying Hillary was winning. Which makes it even worse. There's polls from leftist outlets that are saying that Trump is winning. Fox, who are supposed to be the conservative network, are showing the poll numbers showing that Kamala is still in the lead by a fraction, probably possibly within their margin of error. Even I don't know. I don't remember what their poll numbers were, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying their poll numbers. They said it's like when Hillary ran. He was running against Hillary all over again. Which poll, Buck? Because there have been numerous polls. I don't know which. The one that said that Trump was winning. Is that the one you're talking about? I know that there was a Fox poll that was released either yesterday or today that said Kamala was still winning. Again, by a smaller number than what they said she was winning prior, but yeah, Trump Hillary was epic. Watching election night coverage was like watching the Super Bowl. When Trump won, it was like, yes! When they called Pennsylvania for Trump in 2016, that was crazy. Yeah, we know they can't win, so that's why they cheat. Oh, speaking of cheating, Massachusetts is already starting to do another lockdown because one person, last I heard, caught that equine virus that you get from mosquitoes. So Massachusetts wants to lock down the whole damn state again. I guess they want to go back to. It's not like Trump's going to win Massachusetts, right? But Jesus Christ. But Jamal is funny though. I like that. And if CNN's saying that Harris is winning, I'm not the least bit surprised, especially after the interview Thursday night. So, well, same here, Misfits, darling. We didn't really have much of a lockdown here in West Virginia at first, and nobody really paid attention to it anyway. All the ones that we had, like in our stores and stuff, bitching about people not wearing masks were people from Maryland. They'd come over here, nobody'd be wearing a mask, and they'd freak out. Like, why aren't they wearing masks? Because we're all stupid puppets. That's why. Speaking of puppets, the people of Brazil are wanting to cut their puppet strings from the puppet masters down there because they've had the courts down there trying to block both X and Rumble, the two freedom of speech social media source outlets. And I say that sparingly because I still have my one account on X banned because I said murderers should get the death penalty. Yeah, but you're not in New York City either. I bet you if you did that, pulled that shit in New York City, they'd been trying to throw you in jail. Christ, they would throw you in jail for everything else in New York City, except actually breaking laws. Steal from a local store, oh, you're fine. Don't wear a mask during COVID, that's jail for you. Or you got a single bullet you're not supposed to have. Uh-huh. That's why I said what I said. Yeah, her response, for those of you not watching on YouTube, was that New York City and the rest are two different worlds. Yep, that's pretty much it. You'll get other lefty areas like Buffalo and Albany, but you get outside the cities, and New York State is a totally different place. That's most states, though, right? You get outside the cities and you go from one place to another. I mean, Pennsylvania, you can definitely say that with Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. You get outside Philly and Pittsburgh, totally different environment. Pittsburgh used to be nice, but it's gone to shit since I've not been living there. And when I was younger, Pittsburgh was a really nice place. I mean, there were people that were riding around with rifles in their trucks like you would see in the South and shit. A lot of people were hunters and whatnot. I mean, I don't know what's happened to my hometown, but it's gone to hell in a handbasket in a little over 20 years. So we were talking about, don't remember if it was during Gary's show or in the after chat on Friday. It only took 2 generations for California to go from a solid red conservative state to a blue leftist utopia. Evening, Chris. Christmas 740 just popped in the YouTube side. And Misfits Darling says everywhere she goes, where she's at, she sees Trump signs. Yeah, same here. You go into Western Maryland and all you see is Trump signs. You don't see a single Harris wall sign. And last go around, you didn't see a single Biden Harris sign. And yet they say Joe Biden won Western Maryland. Very few people I've spoken to in Western Maryland voted for Biden. So I don't know how they figure Biden won, but yeah. Oh, that's right. Cheating. That's how. So, what else is going on? Oh, I think it was Ron 2A Matters brought it up earlier. I think yeah, Polymer 80 is closing up after being sued over their Glock throwers, the 80% ones that you finish yourself. Hey, Rob.
How's it going?
Did she come and yell at you and tell you had to jump on the panel?
Pretty much, yeah. She said something about you were trying to take her out on a date. If I didn't show up, and she was just going to go with you.
I don't know if Amy would appreciate that too much if that were true.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah. No, speaking of your lady, she says she saw one guy at the state fair with a Harris t-shirt on, and that y'all laughed at him.
Yes, it was kind of funny. We both laughed at the same time and then looked at each other and we realized we were laughing at the same thing. Then we laughed more.
You see that
Yeah.
dumb fuck over there? You know, one of those kind of situations.
You just couldn't help it. It was just a natural response. Sorry, I got a little bit of rum and coke in me at the moment, so bear with me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she said she was drinking, so I assumed you probably were too. Yep. Gary's out there in the chat. Evening, Gary. So she's heard about the gangs out there in Colorado. What do you think about that situation?
I don't know, or it's not ringing a bell at this point. Like,
The Venezuelan gangs that have taken over the apartment complexes in the Aurora, Colorado area.
oh, yeah, I'm not exactly familiar, so
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like something crazy. I mean, you have
Oh, it's
similar things.
crazy.
You have the migrants doing stuff like that here in New York. I mean, you've had Muslims taking over areas and communities in different
No,
places.
I don't mean they just took over like an abandoned area or something like that, or squatting on somebody's property. They went in with firearms and took over the apartment complexes.
Wow.
Yeah, armed gangs who were reportedly released from prison by the Venezuelan government and sent this way
That's
in
why
the migrant
AR-15.
caravans. Yeah, there's conflicting reports on that one, Gary. Gary brings up the Hell's Angels thing that I was talking about earlier. There's not any real confirmation if they actually are or not. Some sources are saying yes, some sources are saying they're not, and others are like, we have no idea if they're doing it or not. So I'm going to lean on the we have no idea if they're doing it or not at this point. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. And do we really want gangs fighting gangs at that point? You know, do we want a Chicago during the 1920s situation? I don't know. Moose says they've also those Venezuelan gangs have also robbed a bunch of gun shops in the area out there.
I would rather see the government support the citizen in defending themselves. But if you're speaking, depending on areas or whatever, it might not be that type of government. But a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen if people fought back.
Yeah, I'd rather see the people that live in the complex have the ability to fight back themselves.
Exactly. Put a hurting on them, make an example so everybody
Right.
knows. Like that shit
Mm-hmm.
might fly somewhere else, but it don't fly here.
Yep. And if Aurora, Colorado sounds familiar to folks out there, that was the town where a few years ago the guy went nuts and dressed up like the Joker and shot up a movie theater full of people watching. I believe it was The Dark Knight. Same town. Yeah, that's the point, Gary. It's a little late for the people there to be able to get to arm themselves, but they should have had that option. And Colorado does have some pretty bad gun control laws on the books, which there's a little blame to be put there for those kinds of laws too. And and like was already said by I forget who, I think it was Moo, was saying that they were robbing gun stores and stuff. So Not like the criminals in the situation got their guns legally. So, again, proving that gun control laws keep guns out of or the hands of the people that need them to defend themselves from the criminal element, who they tell us the gun control laws will keep the guns out of the hands of. Funny how that works, isn't it?
Bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Scotsman's out there. Don't want to miss him. And Ron Wayne's out there. So, even you as well. I don't know if Misty and Mini Wayne are lurking, but hello to them too if they are.
So what else you been talking about? Anything good?
What the hell else was I talking about? Oh, we were talking about her new knife that you got her. Said she cut herself with it.
Yeah, pretty sharp.
Uh-huh. I told her that's not unusual. Yep, and Misty is out there, so evening, man. Yeah, I told her, I've done it numerous times. You get a new knife, and these new knives anymore, they come out of the box razor sharp, and all it takes is having a liner lock or a frame lock. You push it over with your thumb, and you close the blade, and it closes faster than what you thought, and catch your thumb with it. I've done that numerous times. Gary took the fun out of it because I can't do that with this knife. It's a button lock. So my fingers don't get in the way of the blade.
Yeah, I got on a little kick buying a few knives. I got one more, at least one more I want to get, but that one's expensive. So I'm holding off a little bit. I was gonna pull the trigger on it once, but then I had to buy a windshield. So now I'm kind of holding off a little bit. Maybe I'll get it here shortly. So
Did you ever get her a kitchen knife set?
no,
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 you're still being cheap on that?
that's right.
For as much as that
Priorities,
Spyderco
man.
cost, as much as that Spyderco probably cost, you could have got her a whole set of kitchen knives.
Right. But it's priorities. She's concerned about safety. So when I'm not around, damn it, Rich. Safety's number one. We can struggle a little bit with the steak. If the steak's cooked right, it's easy to cut anyway, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, Moo says cheap bastard, by the way. No. Oh, I know what else I was talking about. Probably wouldn't interest you too much, or maybe it would. I don't know. But we went shopping yesterday, and we went to the mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, and they had this cool game and comic shop, and they had a bunch of like old style board games and stuff like that in there. You play board games, don't you, Rob?
You went to the mall to play board games.
No, store that sold them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, there's alcohol involved.
Yeah, they sold like board games, role playing games, comic books, that kind of stuff. But they had a bunch of the old school style board games that you don't see in stores very often anymore. Thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like old board games, or some board games, I should say. So some of them are pretty cool. I'd like to find that one. I think it's called Risk or something like that. Where it's
Risk was cool. They had Risk there. I don't know if you want to drive all the way down from New York. to go to
I've
Morgantown
seen
to
it
get it.
online. I think they want like $40 for it or something. Oh, we're not
Mm,
supposed to talk about prices though. But anyway,
yeah.
I've seen it out there online or something, but I just haven't picked one up. Not that we're trying to sell anything. So.
She says maybe she'll have to use her spider coat to prep dinner.
Whatever works. At least she'll look hot doing it.
Yeah, 223 DMR says Rob the Chevy guy. No, that's Rob the Subaru guy.
Chevy / Subaru / Honda. That's right.
Yeah, Rob's kind of preppy on us and got a Subaru.
I'm loving that car, man. Get a lot of compliments. I'm a proud member of a new family, apparently. I've been asked a few times at gas stations if I'm a proud member of the Subaru family, and I gotta say I am. It's kicking ass.
Now, Gary says Risk is usually available in Walmart. Our Walmart doesn't carry it. My son was looking for that and something else, and they did not have it at our local Walmart. And he would know, he works there. He's got a little app on his phone that only the employees get, to tells them where everything in the store is, and they do not have it. Which is crazy. I forget what the other one he was looking for was. Now, Ron Wayne brings up Balderdash. Yeah, that was always a interesting game. That and the game where you use like the Post-its and you have a word on it and you don't know what it is, but you got to guess from what everybody else, the clues everybody else is giving you, what the word is. You ever play that one, Rob?
No. I think I've heard of it or heard, of it or something, but I don't think I've played it.
Yeah, that used to be a fun party game. You get a bunch of people playing.
Yeah, I believe so. And maybe I have played it. I don't know, but I do recall it being a popular thing for a time.
Gary says his Walmart has 2 different versions of Risk.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the board game things are fun, sitting around, well, as an adult, have a few drinks, play the games,
Mm-hmm.
be entertaining. Can be fun,
Yeah.
especially if you're competitive. So you can really go with a group of friends.
Yeah. My family hates playing like Boggle with me because they can't match my vocabulary, apparently. I kick their asses every time we play. It's like, nope, we're not playing this no more. And keep in mind, they're all adults at this point, too. So
I'll personally take a board game over card games any day of the week.
Scrabble's another one they don't like playing me at. That's not a word. Get the dictionary. They look it up and like, son of a bitch.
Now, do you play using the Urban Dictionary as well? That'll add a lot more words.
No, we don't use dirt. Because the
man.
rules say no slang stuff, so we tend to stick with that.
I remember playing spades like back in the day. Yeah, people say that back in the day. But anyway, seems like everywhere you go, every circle's got a different damn way of playing. And then you got the damn jailhouse rules and shit. It was like, it just got to be such a pain in the ass because you had like 20 different methods. Like, I just quit. I quit.
Now, Misfits out there says the Outback is for lesbians, but yours is an Impreza. So are Outbacks. So by connection, if the Outback is for lesbians, so's the Impreza. Just
She
saying.
doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
Because the Outback is an Impreza. It's just it's like the Maverick has the
It's a trim package, basically.
yeah, it's a
So
trim
the
package.
Outback
Yeah.
isn't the whole lesbian thing. It's the Forester that's got the lesbian stimu, whatever.
Yeah, the Forester is
status
more of a
or whatever.
lesbian thing.
But personally, I don't know. I think it's a bunch of crap. Although I have noticed what you can perceive as a bunch of lesbians and Foresters in the past. But all in all, I don't know. I think it's all just maybe coincidence. So
I don't know if it's coincidence or not, because the small town we used to live in, there was a lesbian couple and they had a Forester. So I don't know
yeah.
man.
I mean, how many lesbian couples are there out there? And then how many vehicles do they have? I mean, I'm sure a lot of them drive
What?
hot days or
Okay.
this or that or
Yeah,
whatever.
but
else, too.
Rob, we're talking about a town of less than 1,000 people. What are the
Mhm.
odds the one lesbian couple has a Subaru
Mhm.
Forester?
Well, I don't know. Subaru marketed it that way for a small period of time, yes. But still, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure lesbians drive other vehicles, is all I'm getting at. So, but I've also I got a guy I work with where that's what they own is Foresters. Him and his wife, they got three of them. Don't ask me why they got three of them, but you know, they like the car. Obviously, they're not lesbians. Well, at least
Never
not that
know.
he knows of. Uh,
There's some people that swing from both sides of the plate. Yeah, Misfits also says there's lots of beta males that drive. Yeah, there are. There are. Not gonna lie, I argue that one with you. There are definitely that.
when it comes to the Impetra, shit like that, I don't know. I've met some cool ass people. So even just going through a drive through where they're like, "Oh, nice Subaru, I drive a da 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 da." It's like, yeah, it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
culture deal or something. I don't know. Subaru family.
What's worse, the Subaru family or the Jeep owners and their duckies?
The Jeeps and the fucking duck pools or ponds or wherever the hell it is. God, if you want to cheapen a damn vehicle or the look of something, slap a bunch of $2 ducks all over your fucking dash. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Gary. They actually
Okay.
at Bucky's they have Jeep T-shirts with rubber ducks on them. It's like,
It doesn't surprise me. I just learned about that the other day. No joke. We were at Olive Garden like 2 days ago, and I'm looking out the window and see this Jeep, the cheapest Jeep they make. What is it? The damn, oh, no, I can't even think of the name because I'm drinking, but Renegade or whatever. Whatever.
the
Thing's
Renegade's a trim level.
loaded with ducks
At
or
least it
whatever.
used to be a trim level.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the little ass one, the tiny little Jeep thing. Nah, it wasn't a Wrangler.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I only know
like
the Wrangler, Cherokee,
it,
Grand Cherokee.
it just makes the vehicle look cheap as hell. You got all these plastic ducks and shit on your dash. I mean, you look like you're a 12-year-old or 16-year-old. The lady that got in the car was like probably 70 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But to me, it's just so you might as well just be dazzle your damn car. I mean, it's like the same type of shit. It seems tacky to me. I mean, so anyway, had the lady look it up. I'm like, what the hell is this? She's looking it up. I guess people can leave ducks on Jeeps they admire or Jeeps similar to theirs, or can be several different reasons where you'll just leave a duck on another Jeep or something. So are these people receiving all these ducks because their average ass cheap ass Jeep gets a bunch of admirers? I doubt it. They're probably going online and buying 50 freaking ducks and gluing them to their dash. Like I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I like my shit clean. I don't like a bunch of bumper stickers. I don't buy all the shiny shit that just snaps on. All this bullshit people do. I don't get it. You don't need chrome on every edge of your vehicle, folks. Just because they sell it doesn't mean you got to buy it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we have chrome
Sorry.
anywhere on our Maverick. Not anywhere.
Don't get me
if there's
wrong.
any
A
on the
little bit
interior.
looks nice, but it's all taste. It's moderation.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
ours is blacked
people
out.
are nuts with this stuff.
Yeah.
They sell it, they're buying it. They don't even know what the hell it is. They're just buying it because it's shiny, trying to put it on their car.
Yeah. Ours, if you look, it's got all black trim on it. It's got the black. I think it's got the what they call the blackout package on it.
Okay, yeah. See a lot of those here. Everybody's blacking stuff out or debadging,
Yeah.
and they'll
Well, it
put
looks
like big logo banners, like that'll say like
right.
Chevy or whatever on their windshield. Like,
Yeah, no, we don't have that.
make no freaking sense, but whatever.
Yeah, we got the what they call the terrain paint job, which is basically like a sandy tan type of color, and with that blackout package on the blackout trimming on that looks really good. It
I'm gonna
makes
be
the
nice and not pick on your new wannabe truck and just say I'm glad you like
it
it, but
hey, it's more of a truck than some others are at this point. You can go with it beat both the Honda Ridgeline and the Hyundai Santa Cruz in various testing and videos and stuff I've been watching. So, because ever since we got that in my YouTube feed, I've been getting videos about the Maverick versus all these trucks in my YouTube feed and shit. Fucking Google.
to each their own. I'd rather have an old like Nissan pickup or something like that than one of these newer Mavericks. But that's just me. Old Tacoma. Yeah.
The problem is, you see how much even the older pickups cost anymore. The
Yeah, that's
Maverick
because
was
they're a
half the
lot better
cost of
than
all
yours.
of those.
I'm sorry. I'm just being an asshole.
Oh,
Sorry.
I know seriously, it's
They're
like
a real
half
truck.
the cost. A 10-year-old pickup costs twice as much as what the freaking Maverick costs. I'm talking for like one of the small ones. It's like Jesus
Yep. But
Christ.
you could take that son of a bitch up a power line through some
Oh,
bushes,
you can with
bury
this.
it in a freaking pond, and show up to work Monday in a son of a bitch.
Oh, you
Good
can
luck
take this
doing
up
that with
hills
the
and
Mac.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you can, dude. Seriously, you have no idea how much power this thing has. It'll get through shit. Now, I'm not going to take it rock crawling or anything like that because that would be sheer stupidity.
I'm sure it's lovely, man.
Now, I'm not saying that it's the same as a on frame pickup, but for what it is, you can do some serious stuff with it if you need to. It's crazy how much you can do with that thing.
Yeah, I had to float my Subaru through the road the other day. You know, it got flooded out, and even though the car started floating, I was able to maintain a perfect trajectory, and even saved on MPGs. Made it right to the other side, no problem. It's all on video too. different topic, but since nothing's being said, a friend of mine's daughter witnessed a girl hopping off a tube trying to get back on a boat, and they didn't shut the engine off, and she jumped and the tube slid a little, and she put her foot right into the prop and lost a leg.
Oh, that sucks. Can you hear me now? I've been talking. Apparently, my microphone.
I hear you now, or it did until you said micro, and then it just went out again. So yeah, that was a big bloody mess, and I think they're more concerned than their kid is about it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it hammers home safety. I mean, for one, there should have been a spotter anytime you're tubing. Everybody should know that. For two, the operator didn't realize, and the spotter should have. And if the spotter didn't, then the tuber should have. So it sounds like a whole bunch of screw ups there that cost a young girl her leg. So
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, let's see if it. I think my microphone may have needed charge because as soon as I started telling you about the microphone cutting out, it cut out again. So, okay.
but,
Yeah, it sucks about that girl. Jeez.
yeah, pretty crazy experience. Sucks, having a good time, one little mistake, but certain things you just don't mess around with, like boat props. You're not gonna win. So I just think, thank goodness in a way she didn't end up tipping in head first.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, at least she's alive to bitch about it. So pretty crazy.
I
It's
think
right in Jersey. Last weekend in Jersey.
Yeah, I think you may have offended Gary. He said someone doesn't know jack shit about Jeep owners. We don't buy ducks and put them on our dash.
I don't know, man. I'm just going by what I've seen from Google, or what I was told from Google. So
Gary bought all his own ducks.
Gary probably bought his ducks too. So I don't know, man. Except the one he found on his antenna.
Yeah. One of the things I was trying to say when my microphone decided it didn't want to work was you got to remember the Maverick is the wife's truck. She wanted a small truck that was similar to her Escape, so that's what she got. She was on a Jeep Gladiator, but they didn't have that in the trim level she wanted. So Gary says bullshit. Good comeback, Gary. You're gonna get Gary in here bitching about people bitching about Jeep owners. You know that, right?
Sorry, the lady was laughing about Gary's comment. I couldn't hear you. She can work at IHOP now. That's fucked up, Gary.
Oh no, that was Moo that said that. Moo's the one that said you should work at IHOP.
It makes more sense that it came from Moo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what's
I don't know. I've never been a
in.
big fan of Jeeps. I've known people that own Jeeps, have ridden a lot of Jeeps. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jeeps are cool. Like, I like the original Jeep. I like the fact that so many men can carry, disassemble, move it, all this type of stuff. But it's, obviously it's switched. Now they're looking at them damn near like a luxury vehicle with some of the prices and stuff. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. Friend that had a Wrangler, I think, claimed it best, where he said, yes, Jeeps will do everything, but it doesn't do any of it well. And that's honestly what I think is pretty true these days. And I've done a lot of electrical repairs on Jeeps, like the window switches, all that type of shit is notorious for it to go out in the doors with the wiring. So I don't know. Every brand has its issues, but I don't know. I think they were a fun toy option, and now they're into the price range. You might as well just buy a freaking truck or something. I mean, start looking at some of these Jeeps. So I don't know, but anything where you're handing out rubber duckies. I mean, that's it's kind of like on the feminine side of shit. Rubber duckies, come on, man.
Hmm. Gary says he tried jumping in, but he was in the green room for 5 minutes and he finally gave up. If you were in the green room, I never got the notification signal that anybody was in the backstage area earlier. Was it before we went live? Because I never got that notification signal we're supposed to get, because there's a sound that plays for the host whenever somebody pops into the backstage area. And lately, I don't know if something's up with StreamYard. Yeah, I never saw you even pop in.
Yeah, must not have seen me, man. I can tell you, a man's vehicle like Moo Chevy will have a dash full of songs, G strings, bras. That's saying something. Says a hell of a lot more than rubber duckies.
Because the only person I've seen pop in was Rob. He's the only one that visually was down there in the bottom. So I don't know if something's screwed up. Because like I said, I didn't get the notification sound, nor did I see you down there. So I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on there, Gary. If I saw you down there, I would have put you into the chat. But then my eyesight sucks anyway. But it's kind of hard to miss when somebody pops in down below, unless you're looking at a different page, which I wasn't. So I don't know what happened. Or if this ever showed
I
up.
don't know, Gary. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. But maybe he
Right.
doesn't want to be associated with a guy that's got a bunch of ducks on his dash. I don't
I
know.
don't care.
I don't know.
I don't care if he's got a bunch of ducks on his dash. Why would I care? That's his business. It's his car. He wants to put ducks on the dash.
Look, a duck in the bathroom, that's totally fine. You want to keep your banana split boat and throw your duck on there and maybe a G.I. Joe, that's your business. But on your dashboard, that's crossing the line.
Man. You know what's crazy? You go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, the world's largest uh, gun store, or not gun store, knife store, and they have bins. I mean, bins of those little rubber duckies. Just, I don't know how many rubber duckies they have in those things, but there is a shit ton of them.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess people will buy them. You can't necessarily blame them for selling them in a sense. I would think old ladies and stuff. I mean, that's what I seen with a dash full of ducks with a duck pond on their car. Yeah, it's old ladies. It's ladies. I just wouldn't think that's a man thing, but yeah,
You know, your
guess
ladies out there
men
saying
are
that.
different these days.
Your ladies out there saying that's how she met you, but instead of a ducky, she threw a thong on your dash.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. But if you want to try jumping in again, Gary, you're more than welcome. Like I said, I never saw you pop in. Literally, you just never showed up down there.
Ask a girl for dental floss. You might be surprised what she gives you.
Uh-huh. That's the wrong kind of dental floss.
That's
You floss my
debatable.
teeth. Well, you ain't gonna floss your teeth with it. That's for sure. Unless you got some big ass gaps in your teeth.
Oh hell yeah, I got that gap. Don't get me started on the gap. Holy shit, the lady will make me get off the phone real quick.
Uh-huh. 223 DMR out there complaining about the price of Chevy pickups. It's not just Chevy, dude. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, or Ram, because Ram's a separate from Dodge now. Excuse me.
It's all of them, man.
Yeah, Nissan, Toyota. Unless you get that really funky one that they don't sell in this country.
They say Nissan's actually the most affordable one, but nobody wants them. So from what they say, I don't know, but
Not the new
Yeah.
Nissans. The new Nissans cost just as much as everybody else's now.
okay. Well, I don't know. I'm just going off people that do car video things or whatever, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I personally I think the prices are way too high. I mean, I already said it, but in my opinion, for the lifespan of these vehicles and what you get out of it, I just don't think they're worth the money. I think people are way better off buying an older vehicle, spending some money on it, and taking that route. And maybe you don't have the newest shiniest truck on the block, but you got cash in your pocket with no payments.
Mhm.
No payments is a big deal, man. That's freedom. When you got cash instead of a shitload of bills, that's freedom. Nowadays, that's freedom.
Moo says it's 55 degrees in Michigan and the furnace just kicked on. You got your furnace set to kick on? It's 55 degrees? Jesus Christ. We usually don't set our furnace until it's going to be much cooler in here than that. Unless it's 55 in the house. But if it's 55 outside and your furnace is kicking on,
We've had ours kick on. So, but don't forget, Moo lives in a mansion. So, he's got a lot of like marble surfaces and things like that.
Yeah, now he's trying to throw his dad under the bus, saying he's at his dad's cabin, which I know he is, but still. Oh, I said damn Fiat 223 DMR. Geez. But I don't know if is Ram owned by Fiat or are they owned by somebody else?
They might be. I'm not exactly sure. I've heard something about that, but I do know, as a general rule, Fiat's trash. So, not a very dependable vehicle. Basically, going to be consistent problems.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if Fiat bought Ram as part of the deal, and that's why Dodge and Ram were split off.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Not 100% sure on anything right now, except my drink tastes pretty good.
Gary says Stellantis owns Chrysler now. And so did Moo.
Well, Chrysler's just selling that one van, the Pacifica van now, I think is all they have out, I believe. And it seems like everybody that drives one of those is a douchebag. Like, they're those type of people that pop out of the slow lane into the fast lane just to slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Or they want to, like, veer to the right to take a left with no damn blinker.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the New York Chrysler drivers of 2024.
Yeah. Damn it, what was I going to say? Oh, with Ford, the only car they have, actual car, is the freaking Mustang. They got rid of all the other cars and just make SUVs and trucks now.
That's a shitty move, in my opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we all know Mustangs don't even turn, so they should at least add a damn Focus or something for daily driver.
Yeah, the Focus wasn't bad. My wife had one at one point. It was a decent little car.
I'm
It
not
cost
a
like
Ford
15
guy,
grand.
but I like those Taurus SHOs. Those were impressive for what they were. So they make a nice sleeper car. Like if you roll up with one of those today, nobody will have a clue what the hell it is. They'll just be like, "Oh, look at that old piece of shit."
Mm-hmm.
Until they're
She had the Fusion after the Focus, and that thing had twin turbo 4-cylinder in there, and that thing, you put the pedal down, that thing would take off. That was basically the Fusion's version of the SHO.
the Tempos, Mercury Topaz. They were decent daily drivers.
Yeah.
They
Mercury doesn't
weren't,
even exist.
yeah, they weren't anything to brag about. But if you're talking just cheap road trips, this and that,
Mm-hmm.
they got the job done.
Yeah, 223 DMR says Ford is coming back with the Torino. Yeah, but look how well that worked when they brought back the Thunderbird.
I don't think they nailed it with the new Thunderbird.
No.
My aunt had an old one, and it was white and whatnot. But you drive around New York City in that thing, you felt special. Yeah, these new ones, I don't know, man. I know Sean
The new
Palmer
one,
got one and works on one.
yeah,
They look like something new trying to be old. I don't know.
it's exactly what it is. They were trying to make it reminiscent of the
Yeah,
50s.
it just doesn't hit it right, in my opinion. So, not saying there's anything wrong with them. Yeah, everybody's got their own taste, but I don't know. It's a little lacking, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, see some old ones today. Went to a car show earlier. It's pretty cool. So a lot of GTOs. They had the Thunderbirds. They had the old Mustangs. Old and new Hellcats there. Uh, Old and new type. So I mean, they had a lot of different vehicles. It was pretty cool. Made a little short. I just haven't put it out yet. Yeah, those Thunderbirds, the trunk opened opposite of most other trunks. So up by the rear seat, it actually opened upward. So you would not want that to come open when you were driving down the highway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
223 DMR says the Thunderbird and the Torino will be two different things. The Torino is going to be set up like the GT 500. I wasn't saying they were going to be the same car. I'm just not sure how successful it'll be because they didn't have very much success when they tried relaunching the Thunderbird. So it remains to be seen how well that sells on that go and how long they keep it around for.
well, then Chrysler come out with that Prowler. That didn't seem to do too well either, based on an older vehicle style.
Yeah, the Prowler, that was the Plymouth Prowler, I think is what that was. That was
Something
before, that
like
was when
that.
Plymouth was still around, yeah.
I
And
don't
then
know.
they had another one too. I forget what it was, but it lasted even less time than what the Prowler did.
Uh, I'm not sure if the PT Cruiser was supposed to be based off an older vehicle or not, but those things are just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PT Cruiser, and then the Prowler was the other one. They had the PT Cruiser and the Prowler, which both were supposed to look like older style cars too. Yeah. I don't
There's a
think-
nickname that's, the PT loser. So, I don't know if that's anything, across the board or whatever, but around New York, that's the thing.
I don't even think Dodge makes the Viper anymore, do they?
I don't think so. But from my understanding, the car was kind of uncontrollable. So
Well,
I don't
hell,
know.
it had a Lamborghini engine in it.
Yeah. I had one mess with me on my way to Jersey one time. With me and friends were kind of convoying down, going for the beach for the weekend and stuff. And yeah, we were cruising. Yeah, be careful because I'm online, but yeah, we were cruising. And then this PT Cruiser, or not PT Cruiser, Dodge Viper came up on us with an old dude driving like an asshole, man, cutting, weaving in and out of traffic, coming right up next to us, like he was playing around. But there's a difference, like between having a little fun and being a jackass. And this dude was straight being a jackass, man. Like we kind of got nervous, like wanted to ditch the dude, but he just kept riding with us. So it got hairy a couple times because of him just cutting in between cars so close where, we almost all could have gotten a wreck because of this asshole. But I guess he was old and rich and didn't give a shit. I don't know, but we did. So it was a little nervous with this guy. So car was nice looking though, responsive. I won't mention speeds we were doing, but it was up there. We were having fun. But again, this guy was no good. He was like the guy you don't want to invite out on Saturday night because you're going to get in trouble with this dude. And he was driving one of those.
Yeah, I can believe it. People that get those kind of cars, they can have an ego issue.
Yeah, he had something going on. I don't know. Maybe his meds were off. I got no idea. This guy was borderline crazy with shit. Like, like I said, there's a difference between having fun and being an asshole. And this guy was definitely on the asshole side, almost causing accidents left and right. Like that's, it's not the crew I'm trying to roll with.
Yeah, 223 DMR says there's guys in his area that are putting Ford 5.0 Coyote motors in Corvettes and Camaros and some square body Chevy trucks. The one channel I watch, the automotive stuff, the one host on there on the channel bought the base model, the new base model Ford F-150, the XL, because it was the only way you could get the Coyote engine in it, and only if you were buying it as a company option car. So he had to order it through the production company that runs the YouTube channel to be able to order it, and you could only get it in white. Crazy. They're limiting that engine in the F-150 to corporate orders of the XL F-150. And I don't think it's available in any crew cabs either. That's just stupid. If I remember right, that's what he said. I haven't looked at Ford's website to see, but that's what he was saying. I think if I'm right, that's what he said in the video. It's the only way he could get it in the way he wanted the truck anyway. Let's see. Let's see what Ford has as far as that's concerned. You know, if I just went to their truck page. Go away. I don't want to finance. I just bought one. I just want to look at your shit. See if you fucked up the trucks. Let's see. Trucks and vans. F-150. F-150 starts at $36,965 for a base model with nothing. Jesus. Let's go. Let's look at an XLT. XLT starts at twice what we paid for the Maverick.
So you go back and look at like 95 or, mid 90s.
Well, I'm looking at the new ones because that's what I was just talking about.
Yeah,
that
but
you couldn't get
new
the
trucks aren't worth
5.0
it, man.
on the new
We've
one.
already discovered that. New trucks aren't worth it. If you got to impress everybody, then
I'm
you're
talking about what the one guy on the channel I watch bought. I'm not saying I'm buying one.
Well, then the guy's a loser. If you got to impress everybody, you're a loser, okay? The vehicle doesn't make the man makes the vehicle. You can't buy cool. I don't know how many ways you got to slice it. Have the freedom and money. The hell with the payments, people.
Yeah, it is not the standard Coyote 5.0 that's in the F-150s. That's crazy. Wow.
That a girl.
Ten-speed automatic. What the hell do you need 10 speeds for? The hell is that? Hello? Moo says he wrote a 10-speed. Wrong kind of 10-speed there, Moo.
We're at a 10 speed in the past.
Yeah. I had a couple.
I never owned one. My dad did. I borrowed it to go down one of the steepest hills in town a long time ago, and he had one of them speedometer things, and I think I hit 67. So, and then the shitty part was there was an intersection at the bottom, and I didn't ride the bike normally. I didn't realize the brakes. There was a problem with the brakes; they didn't really work. So that was pretty crazy. I got lucky, made it through. Damn near burned a hole through my shoe trying to use it as a brake, but hell of a ride. Let me tell you, hell of a ride.
223 DMR says he thinks I was right about the Ford thing. Because the only one he's seen, the new F-150s he's seen were the 3.5 naturally aspirated V6. They also have a twin turbo version of that. I think it's that one. It's either that or a 3.7 that gets like 455 foot-pounds of torque on it. And somewhere around 400 something horsepower. Moose says the fastest he's gone on his mountain bike was 32 miles an hour.
I'm not sure on my mountain bike. I just remember my top speed, and that was on a 10 speed. So mountain, I do have a speedometer on my bike, but I don't recall my speed. So
Yeah.
it's probably actually logged in it. So if I go down and check, I might be able to figure it out. But I don't really going down and check.
Fastest I hit on the old 10-speed racing bike I had was 40, 45.
Now I'm assuming that's downhill on a mountain bike.
No, that was on a racing bike, not a mountain bike.
Oh, okay. Well, what about Moo? Or did he actually pedal it fast, like on a straight? Because that would be very impressive.
Yeah, he doesn't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there might have been some hill involved, but possibly not. I mean, you could probably do it. So I
Oh,
know I pass cars on Main Street that are roughly doing 30, 35, but
my
it's not easy.
yeah, my brother's mountain bike, I hit 40 going downhill easy on that thing. That was years ago. Through a very windy park.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're like topped out, gear wise,
Mhm.
and it feels like, you're in first or whatever, but because you just can't keep up with the motion anymore. But
Yeah. Moose says there was gravity involved for sure.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. With bikes, it seems like the faster you go, the more stable you are. Same thing with a road bike. Everybody's like, "Oh, doing 100 and plus seems crazy." Like, no, man. Like, it's easier than doing 5 in a parking lot. I don't know. So, like, you don't want to mess up, but unless you're on a back road where you keep leaving the ground or something because there's a lot of dips, like, but just going down the highway, no, man, you just kind of sink right into the road.
Mhm. Oh, for the record, I do want to specify that I did try talking her into getting a used F-150 crew cab with the short bed. She wouldn't go for it. She had to have a new one. She's like, I'm done buying used cars. Okay.
It's typical woman, man. They want the new shiny
Uh-huh.
shit. They're, you know, penny wise, pound foolish. You bought a used Maverick, waited a little bit. Somebody that had one sold it within a year. He would have saved a bunch of money. Still had the warranty. Probably had the
Shit.
wipers and shit put on extra.
Man,
Yeah,
you can't
but-
find them used or new.
Well,
It's hard to find those things.
yeah.
When you find one, you got to snatch it.
It's like some of these newer BMWs, man. They want like 114K brand new. A year later, they're selling for 60K. Like, it's just the whole point. Like, new, it's a bad investment in most cases. It's
Oh, the
really,
Mavericks are keeping their value. That's the problem. They're not decreasing in price. You'll pay the same for a
trying to
used one
argue
as you
with
would a
them
new one.
in general and a whole. And as
Yeah.
a whole, automobiles are a horrible investment. They lose value. But
Mhm.
in general, they lose a lot of value their first couple of years. It's
Well,
just
the reason why the Mavericks are holding their value is because you can't find. It's hard to find them. So even if you're getting a used one, you're paying just about new cost for it. You're not paying it. The price isn't going down for a used one.
you Ford people are nuts. It could be.
Yeah, these things are extremely popular, and they takes them forever to put them on the damn showroom floors and shit. So it's keeping the prices even of the used ones up. Yeah, Mini Wayne's out there. Banzai, Mini Wayne. He says he can get his tricycle up to where to go? Up to 40 miles an hour. With them skinny little legs? Cool. You're doing something there, Mini Wayne.
Well, he's strapped on about 24 bottle rockets too. So don't let him
Is
fool.
that what it is? Yeah, defense dads out there. Evening. And 223
God damn,
DMRs.
I'm a lucky man.
223 DMR says BMW, Mercedes, Audi, all those are money pits. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. They're the automobile equivalents of a boat. Yeah. You know what boat stands for, right?
Bust out another 1,000.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're nice cars. I mean, if
Oh
if
yeah.
you're playing with that kind of money, I mean, yeah, you could have some
Yeah.
fun. There's nothing you want to work on or
No.
pay the
Well,
maintenance of or whatever. That's
yeah.
one of them lease vehicles and hand it
Mhm.
over. So
Yep. I don't know if BMW ever changed the policy or not, but their oil filters, you had to have a special tool to take it off, and they weren't selling it to the general public. This
Shit,
was a
now
few years ago.
they're getting like Tesla, where you got to have a subscription for half the shit in your car.
Yeah, no shit.
Like,
Everything
that's
comes
crazy.
in the car, but you got to have a monthly subscription to fucking use the
Yeah,
shit. It's
you're
like, what the
paying
fuck?
for it to be in the car, but you can't use it. Like, kiss my ass,
Mhm.
man.
It's like, what the fuck? You can buy the car at different trim levels and they turn it on, or you can subscribe and have the features a la carte. Like, fuck that shit. Like, Christ,
That's just
let
crazy.
your car around here be useless anyway because there's no charging stations.
Well, the shitty part is, like, this is one of them things. Like, if people keep buying them, then they're gonna keep selling them and making them that way. But the public needs to stop that shit. Like, if you paid for it, you should have access to use it. You don't need permission. You don't need a subscription. You paid for the shit. It's yours. So
Mhm.
you should be able to use your AC or whatever it is. Did you hear what Ford's gonna be doing
No.
with people that are delinquent on payments? They're talking about freaking the hell is it? Oh shit. I'm trying to remember exactly because I'm drinking here. Making your radio play annoying sounds. What else was it? Something else. There was an article. Basically, it's going to get to the point where eventually your vehicle, if you're behind on your payments, will lock you out after it plays annoying sounds on the radio and does something else, which I can't recall. And
There's a
it'll be driving itself to a pickup place for repossession by itself. Where they're going with this.
There's a used car dealership, a chain actually. They have like 2 or 3 different locations around here where if you don't make your car payment, it has a kill switch that they remotely hit and you can't do shit with your car.
Yeah, they've got that here. That's like pay here, finance here places. They got a lot of those here that do the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. They'll just kill your car and then pick it up. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
basically, they're trying to get it to where they're basically doing the same thing. Like Ford's making it so it'll kill your car, play annoying shit on your radio, and then eventually the goal is to make it be able to just drive itself to a repossession pickup place when you're not in the car.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
defense
that's just crazy, man.
defense that says annoying noises like rap music, and then Moo responds Taylor Swift.
Yeah, who knows, man? I just think that's crazy that they're gonna control shit in your vehicle. Like it's just telling you that they got their hands in way too deep. Like, yeah, you buy a hammer, it's your hammer. If you want to paint it, there is no fee, there's no problem. You want to bedazzle the handle, that's on you. There is no subscription for it to pull a nail. It's a goddamn hammer. It should be the same with your car.
Well, no, they're going to have subscription where if you want to use the claw, you got to pay the subscription fee, and then it pops off the back of the hammer.
Exactly. It's crazy. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you bought that item to be your item with everything that it came with. There's options you didn't get. There's options you did. So what the hell do you got to pay to use your options for? Like that's just it's ridiculous, man. It's asinine.
Now, here's a scary thought about this Taylor Swift thing. Instead of locking you out of the car, it locks you in the car and forces you to listen to Taylor Swift until you put your credit card in a slot to make your monthly payment. My God, I'm gonna give myself nightmares at this point.
Have you seen the videos of all the shit your car reports on you about? Like without your knowledge? If you got OnStar or any of that type of stuff, all this stuff it collects every time you pass a tower that it links to and tracks everything. I mean, it's amazing the privacy and the invasion of privacy that comes along with a modern vehicle. I threw a video up that was done by a news station on it, but there's several different videos out there that talk about this. It's pretty damn extreme, like the information you give up, and you don't agree to that. You're just going to buy a car. But think about it. Nowadays, your phone links to it. What's on your phone? Most people have banking, that personal information, location. I mean, it's like your whole life. And then these companies sell all that data. I mean, did you volunteer for them to make money off you and track everything you do because you bought a car? Like, I don't know, man. Shit's getting crazy, man. And the average person doesn't care. Don't care until it becomes a problem, and then it's too late.
$223 DMR says property taxes are stupid. Woods probably doesn't think so because part of his salary probably comes from property taxes since he's a teacher. Yeah, property taxes help pay for teachers' salaries and stuff. So I don't know how stupid they are. And the founders had property taxes. So I don't know.
Well, I thought there was school tax for that. Which
school
I think,
tax, depending on where you're at, the school tax is part of the property tax.
wrapped up in their property tax. Yeah. So what happens if you don't like kids? You never had kids. Why should you have to pay school tax?
Because the government said so. That's basically what it amounts to.
Yeah. What happens if you live in a township in a trailer, and it's going to take the fire department 12 to 15 minutes to get there when a trailer is known to go up in less than 7? Why should you have to pay for the fire department? Why should you have to pay for taxes?
Well, in that situation, you probably don't have a municipal tax. It's going to be state property taxes, and
there's a lot of
the fire department's going to be volunteer fire department, so they're getting.
So your shit will be up before they even make it to the station. So what are they going to come do? Douse the rest of your shit and soak it and ruin
your taxes don't pay for volunteer fire department. You got to pay out of hand whenever you have to call the volunteer fire department, generally speaking.
I just think a lot of these taxes are ridiculous. And then what happens if it's against your religion to pay for junkies? Or you're just a cheap bastard and you're like, let those sons of bitches die. We all make choices.
Well, there's people in the medical field that don't think they should have to resuscitate overdoses. You get one free one if you overdose again, you're on your own. There's a lot of people I know.
With that, I mean, if you're going to keep gambling it, why should we have to pay to save your ass? That's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what their point is. They're like, why should we have to risk ourselves with all these ODs when we don't know what they're even ODing on? They could be on fentanyl, and if you touch somebody with that's used fentanyl and they're sweating, that'll sweat out their pores, and you could end up because it's absorbable through the skin. A lot of people don't realize this. Fentanyl can be absorbed through the skin. So if you're treating somebody who's on fentanyl or overdosed on fentanyl, you got to wear all kinds of hazard gear, like you're trying to walk into a nuclear reactor almost, to treat them, because that shit will absorb from their sweat into your skin. So every time a nurse, a doctor, an ER tech, whatever, paramedic in an ambulance, whatever, is treating somebody who is suffering from a fentanyl overdose, they are literally putting their lives in their hands by treating that person. Not because the person's being violent or anything, just because of the drugs that are seeping out of their skin and potentially getting into their skin just from making contact with the person. That's one of the reasons why fentanyl is so fucking dangerous.
Yep, I think we're way too nice as a society, and all these taxes are freaking robbery, in my opinion. robbery, even all the way down to the freaking roads, man. Robbery, potholes, the screwed up bridges. Nothing's fixed like it's supposed to be. I mean, where's all that lottery money going? Is it going to the schools? Does money even truly help the schools? Because I'd say no. If you look at New York, supposedly we spend the most money, and so we have the most expensive retards apparently because the scores suck. Like, and just because you're doing good doesn't mean you're doing good. That means in this area you're doing good. The national average, you're shit. You're shit.
Mhm.
Expensive shit, but you're shit. It's not good, man.
Yeah, going back to the drug thing, M. Gabriel says, hence the gloves. That's the problem. The gloves only cover your hands. That shit gets in onto your face, your eye, your arm, and it'll seep through the skin tissues or the membranes of your eye. And next thing you know, you're tripping balls on fentanyl too. They got to wear these crazy face shields, plastic suits on their torso and legs and shit. It's crazy, man. Masks, you have to have masks on because if that shit, their sweat splashes anywhere on your body, and it'll absorb through your skin, your eye membranes, etc. And you could end up overdosing on fentanyl just because you were treating somebody that was overdosing on fentanyl.
What do
It
you know?
doesn't take a lot,
Balls?
huh?
So what do you know about tripping balls?
I know the expression.
Uh,
Yeah, never done it.
uh, acid or shrooms? Never done either.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't like having my mental faculties altered. I've only done weed like once or twice, and I haven't gotten drunk all that often either. And I haven't gotten drunk since I turned 21. I don't like the feeling. Well, I'm saying not to drink the lick your local junkie, M. Gabriel, but yeah, you see somebody who is potentially on fentanyl and you go and lick them, yeah, welcome to the club. You're going to be doing it too. Thorzak says, we told the King of England, come get your tax money and pry from our cold dead hands. There's more to it than that. It was more about the lack of representation. What people don't realize, the colonies were paying less in taxes than the average citizen living in London was. In fact, the American colonies were the least taxed part of the British Empire.
I don't give a shit. I ain't paying British nothing. No tax stamps for my wagon. They can kiss my ass.
Barbecue. I'm gonna try and translate the blind guy typos. One time he mixed Dayquil with NyQuil. Whoa, that will make you trip balls, he says.
Yeah, I got one of them stories. NyQuil and Sudafed. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Sudafed's one of the ingredients in methamphetamines.
I had no idea. All I know is I was working 2 jobs and I was sick, and I figured a little of this, a little of that. I got no idea. Next thing you know, I'm driving home on the shoulder, and thankfully I realized when I came to a bridge and didn't become part of the side of it. But not good.
M. Gabriel says, and them French and Indian wars, leave them to it. The problem wasn't the French Indian War is misnamed. It was a French and British war. It's just both sides had Indians that were allies to them. And because most of the history that we've got in this country comes from the British point of view, it came to be termed as the French Indian War because it was the British writing about their war against the French and Indians. So it was the French Indian War. I figured you were telling a joke, M. Gabriel, but I just felt like talking about it anyway. I'm kind of a history nerd, so particularly that time period. So anytime something like that comes up, it's like, oh, my explanation area antenna come up and I gotta dive into it.
I think certain taxes should be optional. You can opt in, opt out. Yeah, same thing with Social Security. I think a lot of stuff he should have a choice with, but they don't do that these days.
Mm-hmm. Now, 223 DMR says they gave his mother-in-law a fentanyl patch and told her she'd have 3 months to live. They did not give her the fentanyl patch, and she's still alive. Yeah, fentanyl will fuck you up. Remember, with fentanyl, I only have the one. I have 2 degrees, both in criminal justice, but I had a minor. I minored in American history and political science. Barbecue. I'm only like 3 class, huh?
Do they teach you how to bribe an officer?
No.
Really? Well, it sounds like your class was lacking because mine did. You make it a bet. You say, I bet you won't give me a ticket. And you slip 100 with your ID. Yeah. And then morally, it's wrong. But legally, you're covered because you're making a bet.
Yeah. But I'm like,
New York, what do you expect?
Yeah. Like, one class away from having the credits to get an associate's in American history. And if I remember, 8, I think it is, or 9 from bachelor's in history. Particularly dealing with the period of the French Indian War up until Reconstruction after the Civil War. That was the period I concentrated on.
So why did you take criminal justice?
Well, because I had a job offer that if I got the degree, I could, the local prosecutor was going to hire me on as an investigator because of one we had talked, but I had to have the degree to do it. So I went and got I had the associate's degree, but I needed to have the bachelor's.
So I assume CJPO instead of CO, or maybe it's different in your area. Yeah, here, CJPO for police officer, CJCO for correction officer. So there's different requirements throughout.
Yeah, there's different specialties.
Okay.
I actually went anti-terror and homeland security.
Okay.
But about the time when I started getting to where I was going to graduate, so when my vision started going and I couldn't drive, so I didn't qualify for the job anymore because I couldn't drive. Going back to the drug thing, defense dad said he never did drugs. He did, however, spray paint a lot of engines and parts in a small, ill-ventilated garage. In a small, I don't know if he means in a small ventilated garage or ill-ventilated garage or some shit. But he's seen some shit. I'm thinking he means that the garage wasn't properly ventilated. Maybe he might have meant unventilated. Too.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unventilated or ill ventilated would be the proper term. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That's what he meant. But yeah, that'll do it. Some of those spray paints, man, those chemical fumes, they'll get you buzzed.
Yeah, I think spray enamel is the worst. Like re-enamel a tub if you get one of them kits or a
Oh yeah,
sink.
well that's what you use on engines.
Oh, boy.
It's that kind of almost similar type of enamel that you use on engines. Another thing that'll get you is freaking wood stain. If you don't have a properly ventilated area and you're indoors and you're using wood stain, that'll get you messed up too. Particularly the older ones. I think they changed the formula with some of the newer ones. But man, you get a old can of wood stain and you crack that thing open. Whew. It's got some killer fumes to it.
What the fuck is that?
Huh?
Sorry about that. Hit the button at the wrong time or something. So watching this lady prance around in shoes and a bunch of stuff I probably shouldn't say, but it's looking good. It's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those aerosols, paints, and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's a respirator, P100 you should wear. Anything, dealing with paint, stuff like that. So,
Yep.
you can
Basically
get
any
by
kind of
without it, but who knows what you're really doing to yourself. So, yeah,
any kind of paint. I mean, it doesn't even have to be an aerosol. You could be it could be a bucket. That shit can have some really strong fumes to it.
you're gonna be doing it in a sealed garage in the winter or this or that or whatever, painting something in a basement or something. Yeah, definitely consider ventilation because it'll be a problem, and at the very least, you might end up with a hell of a headache that you wish you didn't. So, yeah, respirators don't cost that much, but yeah, something to invest in if you're doing projects.
Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, the wood shop in our staining we had our own little staining room that we used to would stain and paint projects in. They had these two big industrial sized fans that would just suck the air right out of there and pump fresh air in. So there was constantly fresh air being cycled through that place because of the fumes on the different paints and the wood stains. Heck, even polyurethane can have a nasty scent to it, or fumes to it, depending on what brand it is.
Yeah, polyurethane can be pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
The vapor coming off from that, so yeah, definitely something to look into. Like if you're gonna refinish your hardwood floors or something like that, it's definitely, if you're picky or touchy, what product makes a huge difference. So some of those may take a week and a half before you're not really smelling it like that. So others, might only be a day or two. So there's a big difference. And nor will it be as strong for that day or two.
223 DMR says straight vanilla extract will mess you up too. Yeah, that's because they cut vanilla with grain alcohol. So yeah, it will mess you up. When I was working in Giant Eagle, the supermarket chain in Pittsburgh, we would have street something else. Street people, homeless people, whatever you want to call them. They'd come in and they would shoplift vanilla, not because they were baking a cake, but because they were drinking that shit, because it will get you fucked up quick. I don't mean the little teeny tiny bottles. I'm talking about like the big glass bottles of it. They would steal those. And they would mix it with a little bit of sugar to sweeten it. And that
Yeah.
shit will fuck you up.
Crazy, man. These addicts, whether they're drug addicts, scammers, or alcoholic, I mean, if they put some of this, thought power into like being a productive person, they'd probably do quite well. Like who the hell thinks of that? And we get a bottle of vanilla. Like come on, like apply that to something positive, and you can go buy yourself a beer.
Mm-hmm. Picture says he was stationed with a couple of guys that really got into nutmeg. My brother got mad because he thought my mother had a bottle of rum. It was imitation rum, and he was wondering why he couldn't get drunk off of it. It's like, dude, that's not real rum, you asshole. He's like, what? Like, did you not read the part that right above rum says imitation?
What the hell's the point of imitation rum?
Cooking. Use it in cooking.
Why wouldn't you just use regular rum? The alcohol would burn off, right? I mean, that's what they say.
The imitation stuff's cheaper, and you can buy that in the supermarket. Dorzak says put vanilla beans in vodka. The one high school party I went to, the guys that were throwing it.
What? You only went to one party?
No, I said one.
Yeah, you were a loser, huh? That's fucked up, man. One party.
I've gone to more. I went to more than one. I'm saying one in particular because of what happened. They had, the old pickle buckets that restaurants get their pickles in. They had, or like the Home Depot bucket or Lowe's bucket. You know what I'm talking about? Those kind of buckets. They had one of those that they filled with maraschino cherries and vodka and let them soak for like 3 months in the vodka. Eat a couple of those and you started to feel it. They were soaked through with vodka. They just absorbed that shit.
They sell those now. You can buy them like that, like infused cherries and shit like that.
Yeah, cherries just absorb the alcohol. Didn't taste too bad either.
I think making Jello shots or something would probably be cheaper. I don't know, but
no, this is back in. I remember, Rob. This was like 1990. Maraschino cherries were fucking dirt cheap, dude. Defense Dad says Home Depot bucket is the most versatile tool he owns. Oh yeah, man, those things are useful for a bunch of different things, and they don't cost a whole lot either.
You said a Home Depot bucket?
Yeah, it's just like a bucket like a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, the orange 5-gallon pails.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've ever bought one. I've just had them from like drywall, joint compound, paint. You end up with extra buckets.
Well,
So
yeah, they sell them. They're like maybe $5 a bucket, if that.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But I guess, if you don't do stuff with buckets, I guess it makes sense to buy some, but
Yeah, we've bought a couple of them.
I throw them out all the time. I end up with, I've got a stack of buckets basically, but it's from stuff like that, joint compound, paint. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're not doing anything like that, so we don't have a bunch of those buckets laying around. When I was younger, my stepfather, one of the jobs he did when he got laid off was working at a hot dog shop. So he would always bring home the old 5-gallon pickle buckets. And we had a bunch of those around the house. Once you get the pickle smell out of them, they were pretty useful.
Buckets are a useful tool. You can do a bunch of different things with them for sure.
Yeah. We even built a boat out of them. Like a pontoon boat.
That's pushing it, but I guess, to each
Hey,
their
it
own.
floated. They used to have the Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. They used to have a competition where people would build boats out of everyday materials, and whoever's boat made it the farthest won. And you could win like $5,000 prize. So my stepfather decided he was going to try and see if he could build a boat. So him and a buddy of his kept trying to design these boats using like pickle buckets and stuff as the flotation devices. It was actually fun to do as a kid. Build a boat, working with one of your parents to build a makeshift boat. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, building almost anything's fun as a kid, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're doing it with a parent. So it's a memory type thing,
Right.
learning experience,
Mhm.
process.
I think the failures were more fun than the successes because the failures are what you laughed at because the boat's floating, and it slowly starts to sink like an episode of Gilligan's Island or some shit. And everybody just starts laughing. Defense Dad says all he's saying, Rob, is name a toilet you own that can do more than a 5-gallon bucket. Shit, man.
Oh, she's in the other room.
Then that's your cement mixer.
Hey, like I said.
But man, 5-gallon bucket could be a toilet, a water transference device, a water catcher if you spring a leak, a toolbox. I mean, Christ, they sell those damn sleeves that you put inside of them now where you can store your tools in them like a toolbox. Do all kinds of shit with a 5-gallon bucket. It'd be nice if the sleeves for the tools had where you could keep the handle on it, though, to use it. How hard would it be to put 2 holes through the side of it where you can keep, put the handle through it? You know what I mean?
I've used them a lot for like water, mixing cement, things like that, or concrete, whatever. And doing things like putting mailboxes in or whatever, where you're digging small areas. So just moving the dirt instead of busting a wheelbarrow out or whatever. So things like that. So yeah, I mean they're versatile. You can use it as a step, carry tools in it. I use them as that sometimes if I gotta go screw around small plumbing job or something like that, I'll just load up what I need in a bucket and carry that in.
Mm-hmm.
Do that quite often. I keep my snakes in a bucket. They're wrapped, like coiled in the bucket. So 3 different snakes actually fit in one bucket. But they're not all coiled in. Some just sitting there. But so yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do with like storage devices. I mean, I've got stuff stored in buckets, tools,
Yep.
all my masonry stuff's in like a couple buckets, tiles in a couple buckets, stuff like that. So I can just grab it and go, string lines, all that type of stuff.
Yep.
So
Talking about storage devices, these things make great storage devices.
yeah,
Old
for
empty
sure.
pill bottles, like nails and screws and shit. Put them in your pill bottle. Throw it in your toolbox if you need it. Throw them in your tackle box with different hooks or sinkers in them. They make great little storage devices too. Almost like a miniature version of the 5-gallon bucket.
Kind of, definitely not as strong, but
No,
yeah.
definitely not as strong. You're not going to use one of those as a stool, for example.
Yeah, bucket's pretty useful tool. So I would challenge your, what could do more, whatever request or whatever you want to call it, challenge. But now is not a good time for me. But pretty sure I can come up with something that'd do more.
Our local Home Depot, where they have their buckets, actually has a sign with 110 different things you can do with a 5-gallon bucket. That was pretty funny when I first saw that. One of them was, if you got a hole in the bottom of your grill, you can use it to catch grease.
I'm betting they spread that list pretty thin there.
Oh yeah, some of them were pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's something. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're good to have for sure. I mean, I don't think I've ever bought a bucket. That's not true. I've bought mixing buckets. They have like measurements on the side and stuff like that. But I think that's probably it. Maybe a couple of the smaller, like 1-gallon or 2-gallon buckets. I'm not sure what they are. The smaller ones when I do mortar for tile. But other than that, I pretty much collected all my large buckets due to paint or joint compound, something along those lines. So, but yeah, they're useful.
Oh, I remember what another one was. Fill halfway with water, add a toilet seat, and you have a porta potty.
Halfway with water.
Yeah, fill it halfway with water and put a toilet seat on top, and you have a porta potty.
I don't know about that. I think you'd be better off with like sawdust and stuff.
Oh,
You know,
if you
like
look at the Porta Johns, they got
water.
water. So that's what the joke is. Basically, that's all a goddamn toilet on a Greyhound bus is a steel 5-gallon bucket with water in it. Yeah. Defense Dad says he
Never
used to
be
tie
using
one
the bathroom on a bus like that.
Huh?
Nah, I've traveled like on a bus. Nothing crazy, but 4 hours, 6 hours. But I've made a point not to use the bathrooms.
Oh, I've not used the bathroom on
Same
one of those
thing with
either.
plane. I try.
I've had to clean those bathrooms. I damn sure wasn't going to use one. But Defense Dad says he used to tie one to a tree when he was in Little League to practice his pitching. Yeah, be good. Make a good target for that. And Wood says lighter's a useful tool too. Yeah, used to carry a Zippo even if I didn't was even after I quit smoking because you never know when you're going to need a lighter for something. Now got one of those electric kind of lighters and use that. Don't have to worry about fluid or anything. Huh?
One of them crack torches.
Yeah, something like that. Not quite, but something like that.
Yeah, if you do a lot of electrical work and you're dealing with heat shrink, I think it makes sense. Other than that, it looks like a crack torch, man.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You might have to deal with frayed rope or shoestring fray, or your pants may have a string come off or something. Something you need a lighter for because you don't really want to cut those strings. You actually want to burn them off so that it gets that hard plastic tip to it. That way, it doesn't fray more. Cutting it can actually make it worse.
Any excuse to have a crack torch.
It's not quite a crack torch. It's not like the ones you see them junkies using. It's just like looks like little bolts of electricity that crisscross.
So taser / crack torch.
It kind of looks like a taser almost, yeah. Wood says he still buys the old Bic Classics in 10-pack. Nothing wrong with them. We used to take those when I was a kid. We'd hold them upside down and then slam it on the ground. If you do it right, it'll shoot back up and just like that. If you do it right, I don't know if the newer ones do it because they put those safety features on them now. But if you did it right and it hit just right, it would take off like a freaking rocket. Because it would ignite all the fuel inside and it would just spew out like a rocket and just take off up into the air. Things you do when you're bored and you're a kid.
But Bic is damn near the only lighter to have. I mean, obviously a Zippo, but that's a whole nother level of lighter. But yeah, anything besides a Bic as far as your disposables is usually junk. Yeah, the wheels are gonna pop off, flints are gonna fall out. I don't care if they're 10 for $1. They won't outlast a single Bic. So just don't even bother. Don't even bother.
Yep.
Go
Bics
right
were the king. Bics were the king for sure of disposable lighters.
Still are things. So I'll take 2 Bics over 10 10 of those cheap ones any day on a camping trip or something like that. Yeah, I say 2 because you could lose one, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna break. I'll put it that way. But what the hell am I doing?
I don't know.
Holy shit! I got rum in a glass and I just pulled the milk out of the fridge. That's not gonna work. Let me grab the stuff.
It might. They make rum ice cream. It might work.
No.
A White Russian is vodka and milk.
At least I caught it by the time I unscrewed the cap. I didn't pour it in yet. That would have been very upsetting.
Daiquiri has milk in it and rum with fruit
Yeah,
flavor.
I'm not a fan of dairy with alcohol, and I've done like White Russians and whatnot. Drank them or whatever. But mudslides, yeah, they're okay, but it's just not my thing. It's not something I'd ever want to throw up.
Yeah. Knives is out there, Evening Knives. Wood says he's not sure if his Jeep starts without lighting a cigarette first. He's told it will, but sounds risky. I can neither confirm nor deny that because I've never had a Jeep. I don't remember even driving and ever having driven one. I had friends that had them. I don't think I ever drove them. That I can remember anyway. So, yeah, Wood says he only uses Bics. He said he has a drawer full of cheap lighters. Literally has hundreds of them, but only uses the Bics. Yep. If I were gonna get a disposable, it would have to be a Bic. My mother used to get the Scripto or whatever ones they were all the time. They were all right, but they weren't as good as a Bic.
You get it, you come across a cheap one, like the lady found one in the zipper at the fair the other day. She got a free lighter when she hopped in the zipper, and so basically that's kept in the car for as a backup, or if somebody needs a lighter, I'll just give them that lighter. But yeah, it's never going to be carried in my pocket or hers. It's a backup, disposable. Yeah. Somebody asked for here, just keep it. If it works 5 times, consider yourself lucky. You ever been on the Orbiter, Rich?
I don't know. Some amusement park rides have different names depending where they're at, so it's hard to say for sure. I don't remember one by that name exactly, but like I said, it might have been a similar ride that had a different name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I got a video out there of what the Orbiter is, but yeah, that was the Orbiter when I was a kid, and it's still the Orbiter. Although I have seen knockoffs of it, so I get what you're saying. But it's just it's important that it's something you try. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh hell!
Why is it important? Because it is one of my all-time favorites from being a kid. So yeah,
We haven't gone to the Allegheny County Fair up in Maryland the past couple years because it seems like ever since Biden's been in office and the fair's been operational again after COVID, there's some fucking assholes fighting at the damn thing. So it's like, we ain't even gonna bother. Don't always get, and there's always somebody that's not from this area.
well, you don't like watching fights, cage matches, stuff like that.
An organized fight's one thing. Having a bunch of assholes just start fighting in the middle of the county fair, I don't want to be bothered with that nonsense. Defense Dad, this goes back to Friday night, says that he has got notification that the Walmart knockoff of the Benchmade bug out will be in stock on Wednesday. He's going to have to pick one up. Yeah, I think he said they were like $10. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've run our course on this show. I think we've talked a little bit about a lot of everything. So, anything you say before we get out of here, Rob?
God bless America and real women.
Yes, definitely real women, not these fake guys who think they're women. That's just disturbing. On that note, we will bid y'all adieu for this week, and thanks for stopping by. And if you're not sub to the channel, please consider doing so, because if we ever hit 500 subscribers, we are going to be doing a giveaway with some pretty nice prizes. So Yeah, tell your friends too, guys. Get your friends in here. Tell them that you got to watch this on Sunday nights. Tell them that there's a lot of comedy. Some of it unintentional, but it happens, and you might learn something. And that you might learn something too. So, anyway, we'll catch y'all next week. Hopefully, until then, have a good night. And where did I put that outro?
Now listen up, babies. I'm here to ride the train down the funky town. The Unloaded Media Channel is doing a giveaway once he hits 500 subscribers. For more information and details, check the description down below.